Hey, what's going on out there, everybody? This is Sammy Legger here representing TeamJVS, here to give you guys another review. This is the premiere of season 7 of Rick and Morty. Of course, Justin Roland is no longer a part of Rick and Morty, nor is he a part of Solar Opposites, and he's been replaced by, and they've already confirmed it. I'll leave it at the end of this episode to talk about it. But what was this episode about? This is how Mr. Poopy Butthole got his poop back. Literally, that's the name of the title. So Mr. Poopy Butthole has, at this point in his life, took a turn for the worse. He's lost his family. He's lost his wife, lost his kid, and like not like they died or anything like that, but he's developed certain problems from the gunshot wound. The gunshot wound that happened caused a ripple effect where he broke his legs, he had other problems, and then he started drinking. And we've seen like Mr. Poopy Butthole like in the dirt before, like specifically like the second and third season, like he was really dealing with it with popping pills and whatnot. But now he is staying with the Smiths, and he's kind of in a rut. And so what Beth and family try to tell Rick, he needs to give his best friend or one of his best friends our intervention. Now, of course, Rick being Rick doesn't want to do that. He's like, that's the last thing I want to do. But he decides to go, and it kind of feels like the Hangover episode. It's like the Hangover and Sandlot. That's the best convergence I can give, because he decides to get like Gearhead, Mr. Squanch, Bird Person, and a couple others to go and try to give this man, hopefully, the intervention that he needs. And of course, in fine Rick fashion, they do not give him intervention. They give him everything he absolutely doesn't need. And it goes downhill from there, because when they meet Hugh Jackman, I kid you not, they start partying down levels that you just don't expect, unfortunately. So, but what did I think about the episode as a whole? I think that it was pretty funny. I didn't know how I'd feel like with Justin Roland not being there, because one of the things about Justin, regardless of how you feel, um, you know, like his actions and like the fact that he's no longer with the show, a lot of the times off of his vocal range can be comedic moments. Like I think he initially voiced Mr. Booty Butthole and a lot of the other characters. I forgot what was that one character that was part of the superhero league. That's some interest how they do that voice, but it was still funny. It was still comedic numbers because the characters are still the same. The interesting thing is, I feel like, um, honestly, I feel like Rick Sanchez has grown. They mentioned something at the beginning of the episode how he found the Rick that killed his wife and what he did to him and stuff like that, but they don't really go down the full exploration of kind of what that means. But I do see a growth in Rick, whereas I seen the time Rick would just drink his problems away and just ignore what's in front of him. But like he's really progressed. But I think the other part of it is seeing the fact that Squanch is still alive, and seeing Bird Person, being Bird Person again and what we knew him to be. I thought Gearhead was dead too. Oh my gosh. But I think that it's just interesting to kind of see where they are now, and it doesn't kind of feel like, oh wow, they're just giving these characters back to us in a reboot format. I do feel like they've had some miles on them, and I think it is shown really well through what Poopy Butthole is kind of going through. And so I think as an episode, I think it's pretty interesting. It's pretty messed up, as most Rick and Morty episodes are. And I think that it does teach an interesting lesson about, the willingness to let go and sacrifice. And at the same that time, at a certain point, you have to make a decision to want to change. And I think that that's something that the reason why I believe Rick's action in this, because Rick's had to do this. He's had to literally like watch his family die. He's had to literally watch and make a decision on whether or not to kill one of his daughters and still make a decision to let him live. And like, it's so many different things that Rick has learned, and I kind of feel them throughout this episode. Now, in this episode, Morty isn't in it at much, but he's in the beginning of the episode. But I'll go ahead and go to who are our new voice acting talents. One is Ian Cardoni. He's playing the role of Rick Sanchez. And the other voice talent is, oh God, I'm basing on his name. Hold on. I just want to make sure I get his name right. I believe it's Harry Belden. Harry Belden is playing the role of Morty Smith. So yeah, so these are our new voice acting talents, and I'm not gonna lie, they are very convincing Rick and Morty. I think they do a really good job of filling in from what Justin has kind of built, as far as the characters' vocal process, because a lot of their angst comes off of the way that they're tonally sound. And I think the interesting thing was initially when I saw the preview for Mr. Poopy Butthole in the trailer, I was kind of like, I don't know, but I think that you know what? I don't know if Ian voiced Mr. Poopy Butthole in this episode. But if he did, he did a really good job. I need to actually go and check and see if he actually did voice Mr. Poopy Butthole in tonight's episode. But if he did, like, I think he did a really good job with it. Yeah. So I don't know. I need to actually check and see who actually voiced Mr. Poopy Butthole this time around. I don't know if they're gonna actually show it to me. Yeah, I don't see it. But yeah, I actually think this is a pretty good episode. I give it like an 8.5 out of 10. I'd actually go and watch it again. It makes me excited to see more of the season, to kind of see how their pathways are going to change, when I think that the next step of this is really seeing what evil Morty is going to do to a more stable family. Because the family at this point now is more stable than they've ever been. But what will shake that up, in my opinion, will be a very interesting twist, was interjecting the evil Morty and nobody knowing. I think that there was a small little thing that Mr. Poopy Butthole says, like, how could you not know it's not my birthday? How could you not know this or that? And I think ignorance is bliss. I think that's a very interesting concept once you find peace. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell button. Thank you guys. Have a great night. Peace, people.
Filing out the top of the
I can see skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my mind.